Let's talk about energy hygiene and why it's important. This is probably my newest found passion. I've been doing energy work and I've been working with the intuitive arts since I was 8 years old. It has been an obsession of mine. I read all the books, watched all the movies, played with Uno cards, practiced psychic skills. Honestly, since I was 8, I remember first doing it. I had my first actual premonition when I was in kindergarten. I knew that the teacher was going to call on me and that she was going to make me line leader, which was hot stuff at 5 years old. I had other premonitions. I knew when the phone would ring. I knew when good things would happen. I definitely knew when weather was coming. I always knew if it would be a severe storm or not. I knew if it would be a difficult night at home. I knew if sickness was coming. I always knew when I was going to get sick. I knew a lot of things when I was little. Of course, there was no validation for that in classrooms, and there weren't a lot of places that I could go with that information, but it was something that was deep inside of me. What I didn't know was about energy hygiene. I didn't know about what we attract. I didn't know that our frequency is completely responsible for everything that we attract in our world. And so when you're a child and you absorb some of these things without any knowledge, sometimes it can be a little bit scary. I wish I'd known what I know now. What I know now is there's absolutely nothing ever to be afraid of. Nothing at all. Because everything that we sense and feel and fear is merely an energy that can be destroyed. And it's that simple. It's that simple. And I know that might sound fantastic, but I'm here to tell you that you can turn all of it around. One of my best success stories is I had a dear client of mine that was in and out of mental institutions for 8 years because she heard voices. And we were able to get rid of the voices. Now that is just amazing. We could see and sense what they were, and we kept blowing them up. And after a year and a half, the voices disappeared. And I have so many other fantastic stories where people were sick, or where they were depressed, or where they had really bad luck, or where they couldn't get a job, or they couldn't date, or they were at home, living at home, and they cleaned their energy and within a month got a job, found a relationship, got a career very, very quickly. And you yourself may realize, why is it that some points in your life you seem more lucky and other times it just seems like you have bad luck? What is that? Is that just a coincidence? What causes that? What if you were 100% responsible for it? And what if I could give you information right now and moving forward that could help you alter that so that you would be in control of everything that you attracted in your life? My best habit is focusing on my energy hygiene. So as often as I comfortably can without feeling like a burden, I'm cleansing my energy. I'm channeling Reiki energy. I'm bubbling up, which is a technique from my More Method of Healing Reiki training system that we do. Everybody can do Reiki. You don't have to be anybody special or intuitive to channel Reiki. I think all Reiki is great. I'm not a Reiki elitist. I don't think that some Reikis are better than other Reikis, and nobody owns Reiki. Nobody has the rights to Reiki. What I've done with my system is put Reiki with the law of attraction and energy protection, and it just works really well together. So, if you were a surgeon, you would put a mask on and wash your hands afterwards before performing a surgery. With my techniques, we just channel Reiki and we put a bubble up to protect ourselves so that there isn't an energy exchange between us and the other person and vice versa. And we increase our frequency so that we can use Reiki every day, all day, instead of just when we're doing hand positions. So when I'm doing energy hygiene, I imagine the Reiki flow. And for me, Reiki goes in the way that I teach in my system. It goes in through the top of my head, down my body, down to the core of the earth. Then from the core of the earth, back up through my feet, back up, out my body, and up out the top of my head, up through my body, up out the top of my head like a fountain, and then out my right hand and in my left. And that's the flow. That's the flow that I use. There are many different flow systems out there. I just recently discovered this year, somebody asked me if I used a certain technique and I had never heard of it. And it was all over the internet. I've been doing Reiki since before I was attuned. I've been doing Reiki. I experienced Reiki proper at the age of 15. I became a master at 19. And I was channeling Reiki just fine before I got my attunements, before I was a Reiki practitioner, before I was a Reiki master. There are all these rules out there. That's a whole nother video that I'll probably do, but I'm here to tell you, you can do Reiki right now. You can channel Reiki right now. You don't have to be any kind of special anybody that's gifted. The only people that I've ever run into that have trouble channeling Reiki tend to be more cognitive thinkers, maybe people that are like engineers, or mathematicians, people who are very linear in their thinking, maybe they think more than they feel. Other times, people who maybe have carpal tunnel or they are on the computer all day, maybe their arms are more numb and they don't have as strong a feeling in their fingertips. That might be another reason. But I've been able to work with every kind of person and over many, many years, and I've never not been able to teach a person how to channel or feel Reiki. So anyways, most of the day I'm thinking about, or many times of the day, I'm thinking about how is my energy? I'm thinking, is my energy clean? How do I feel right now? How's my headspace right now? How does my body feel right now? How is my inspiration level right now? Do I feel creative and inspired, or do I feel blah and drained? So these are all things that I think about. What affects all of this is my energy hygiene. And I have this really long energy hygiene regimen in one of my trainings, but I can teach you just some basics right now. So what we do is we channel the Reiki energy, as I said, goes in through the top of your head, down your body, down to the core of the earth, and then from the core of the earth, back up through your body and back up out the top of your head and out your right hand and in your left. Now, I'm just talking through this because to learn this, it takes a little bit more time and practice and probably to go a little bit slower. The next thing that I teach is how to create a protective bubble. And this is wonderful. I had done this with my child. My oldest started school early and he was just a little peanut. He was really tiny. And so I worked with him to create a protective bubble so he didn't feel trampled by the other children. And what was really magical is that the teacher knew what it was. She thought it was really neat. And the reason she knew what it was is her mother had trained with me years before. So that was kind of a neat law of attraction concept, like attracts like frequencies attract like frequencies. So the idea is that you create a happy thought, something that feels really good and really safe. And the idea is that you have a few of them. So if it's in the summertime, maybe you have, a memory of camping or being with somebody, or maybe you're on a mountaintop, or maybe you're swimming somewhere, or maybe if it's really hot outside, you're picturing it snowing and you're snowboarding, or you're in front of a fire drinking cocoa. Maybe in the wintertime, you're imagining being on a beach, walking along, picking up seashells, or maybe you are on a roller coaster ride. Is that something that just brings joy and feels really, really good, but just you? Nobody else can be in that picture. The only reason we want that is because we want to keep your energy pure. It could be that you're maybe holding a puppy and it's kissing your nose or something like that. So that's the second thing, is with the Reiki energy, once you learn how to channel it, we put up this protective field. The next thing that we do is I go through a whole guided visualization, just starting with the 7 chakras. So the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. And what we do is we go through them and open them up, and then we pull out any cord connections. And what is a cord connection? A cord connection is a connection that you have with another person. And it doesn't matter how far apart you are. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've interacted with them. We all have these cord connections. You could have a cord connection from somebody that you just met. You could have a cord connection from somebody you met 40 years ago. We all have them. The cord connections that are the strongest are from our family. So mom and dad and siblings, those ones, and children and spouse, those are all hardest to separate from. But the way that we cut the cords is we imagine that it's done lovingly and that it turns into white ash and floats away. I do have a free meditation at my website, lisamore.com. I've included the link below. You can get that for free. It's a cord cutting meditation. I think everybody on the planet should take it. It's wonderful. So that'll give you an idea of what it is just to be, even for moments, in your divine own essence, unattached from other people. So we go through and we cut all the cords and we open all the energy centers. And then I go through a deeper regimen where I imagine what the attachments are. And I go through guilt, shame, fear, karmic connections, pain, resentment, competition. You get the idea. And then I go through and I find if there's any attachments. And I'm not really concerned what they look like. I actually don't care. I just put them in a glass box using the Reiki energy and I blow them up. I know I'm going fast and explaining all this, but it takes a while to learn all this, but I'm telling you, you'll feel cured. You'll feel cured of your mental, physical, spiritual ailments when you do this. So then we blow up all the energies and then we get rid of all of the cord connections that we grew out of our own being. And I do this for myself. And then I imagine white light butter and seal up all the holes in my energy and my auric field that might have attracted this. And then I clean all the energy around me. And that's another huge thing that I do in my system. It's that we're constantly cleaning the Reiki with the Reiki energy to get rid of any negative energies around us. So I am 100% responsible for the frequencies that I am emitting, that I am carrying, and I am in a constant state of transforming them whenever I notice that it doesn't feel quite right. So the benefits of starting to do this are immediate. I've had so many testimonials. I had a woman reach out to me and she had 6 children. They homeschooled and they had just moved. And she said since she started the training, within a very short period of time, nobody was sick. There was no shouting, no tantrums, no fits, nothing. The entire environment of the household and the family structure changed. And I'm not surprised at all. I remember years ago taking my kid to the doctor, and I said that the mental reasons for physical causes, you can research some of this. One of the ailments is ear infections. And I said to the doctor that I had heard ear infections are from parents arguing. You know, when your child has an ear infection, and he laughed and said, I would believe that. He was just about retired. He'd been practicing for 40, 50 years. So the benefits are that you can increase the health of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, and also the environment that you're in. And for anybody that's watching this that is a parent, you know that if you're stressed out, your kids get sick. It just happens. And if you can imagine, nobody gets sick anymore. And I'm very proud to say my children are extraordinarily healthy. They weren't always. There were some years where it seemed like they had chronic ongoing sinus infections or just low-grade somethings, detoxing a lot. But they're so healthy now, like really, really healthy. And they're around a lot of people. And I believe it's because they keep their energy cleaner. I do believe there's something to this. So that is just one of the small benefits. The other benefits are that people like you. You're more likely to have good luck. You're more likely to have green lights, perfect traffic when you drive. You're more likely to be noticed at work or be noticed in your social circle because your auric field is going to look bright and clear and clean like your aura naturally looks. So these are all just some of the benefits that you might experience from doing this. Go ahead and try that meditation, experience what it is to have a clean energy and to really marinate in that sensation. If this is appealing to you, if this resonates, start with that cord cutting meditation, see how that feels. I have all sorts of online trainings. I have the More Method of Healing. I have psychic developments that you can take. I have lots of meditations. I offer remote healing services. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do, but for free right now, to take an action step right now, try this meditation and experience what it is to cut the cords. And just a side note, when I first wrote this meditation and performed it myself, I had about 460 cords. And it was because I was a massage therapist for many years, and I had a cord connection with every one of those clients, which I knew because I would randomly think about a client that I perhaps hadn't seen in a couple of years, and then they'd send me an email or they'd call me. So I'm sure that you've had that happen too. Those are cord connections in part that do that. So now it's time for a psychic puzzle. So I want you to just relax. And I want you to, if you feel inspired to, you can do the cord cutting meditation and then try. But if not, just relax, take a couple deep breaths, imagine yourself in a happy place, and then go with your first guess. So whichever one you see, feel, hear, know, smell, whatever, whichever one feels like the best choice, go ahead and go for that. And don't be afraid to hit the pause button so that you have longer if you need it. Good luck. How did you do in the puzzle? Did you notice a feeling of knowingness with the correct answer? Great job for trying. Did you know that this is a teachable skill? Through my online courses, live classes, and online community, you'll find more psychic puzzles, helpful tips, and a safe space to practice and grow. You can find all information and links in the description below. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this.